Hey guys, so to start out this look, I'm outlining the entire skeleton and I'm just using a brown lip pencil, but you could also use an eyeliner or a brow pencil or even an eyeshadow. And I'm using my own bone structure as a guide as well as a couple reference photos. So this look has 4 main steps to it, the first one being this outline followed by splitting the entire skeleton in half, then filling in with our black and white, and finally defining all of our lines and shapes. For the outline, I would recommend not using a waterproof or smudge-proof or a gel liner, just so if you need to wipe away to modify your shape, which I did several times, you won't have a hard time doing that. For the teeth, I started by lining them out, and now I'm going back in to round out the tops. And at this point, I wasn't planning on doing the lipstick, so I do have the teeth going all the way across, and you can definitely keep that going if you don't want to do a lipstick. So I'm just going to continue outlining my collarbone, sternum, ribs, and neck, and I also decided to do the shoulder blades. And for this part, I would really recommend getting a few reference photos. This outline doesn't need to be perfect, it can be a little rough. We're going to fill it in and outline and define everything later. We just want an idea of our bone structure. For the rib bones, you can see these 2 lines that I've drawn coming out kind of from my collarbone, just so I can see how far out I want each of the rib bones to go as I'm going down. And then as you're curving each bone up, make sure to go behind the rib bone that is right above it. Now I'm going in and outlining the shoulder blades, also making sure that this one goes behind, and I'm also using some makeup remover on a cotton bud to clean up the lines just so I could see it a little bit better. So now we have our completed outline, and we're going to go ahead and split that down the center. And I'm going to be using the same brown lip liner that I used for the rest of the outline. Now I'm applying an eyeshadow primer, and I'm just going to blend that out using my fingers. Then for my black and white, I'm going to be using some water-activated paints as well as some creams. But on the eyes, I'm using a couple NYX Jumbo eye pencils. On this side, I'm using the shade Milk, blending that out with my finger a little bit, and then applying a white shadow over top to set it. And then on the other side, I'm using Black Bean, topped with a black matte shadow. And then I guess that this part didn't record. I had painted this entire section using a white paint from Tag, which I am not a huge fan of. It cracked a whole bunch. So I ended up taking all of that off and using my Mehron white cream makeup instead, topped with a white powder. So now on the normal skeleton side, I'm filling in all the bone areas using that same white Mehron cream makeup. And the one I'm using is the Creamblend stick in white. You could also use a white body paint if you have one that you like. And another option would be to use whatever bright color that you want to instead of the white, and a UV paint would be really cool too. So once I've applied the white with a brush, I'm going in with my beauty blender to stipple over and blend out any brush strokes. And then I'm going to top that off using a white face powder. If you don't have a white powder, you could use a white eyeshadow or just a translucent colorless powder. And if you do end up using a cream product on this side, you will want to be sure and set it, or it will move around and transfer, especially if you have oilier skin. So now I'm just going to finish filling in all of the bones with white on this side only. Be sure to connect the rib bones to the sternum and then keep the separation so you can tell which of the bones need to go behind the others. Then again, if you used a cream product, be sure to set it. Now we're going to start filling in all the negative space on this side using the black, and I'm using the Mehron Paradise paint in black. I'm going to take this all the way back into my hairline on this side. And now I'm going to fill in the bone areas on this other side using the black. And for now I'm using a little bit bigger of an eyeshadow brush, mainly because it's the only one I had around that was clean. But I'm going to go in after with a smaller, sharper eyeshadow brush to help define all the details. And I'm also making sure to leave a blank space where I want to fill in my brow later, that way we can avoid mixing too much black and white. And now I'm going in with a smaller, sharper brush. I think this one is either a lip or concealer brush, and I'm just using this to clean up all the edges. I'm also using this brush to fill in the teeth on this side, and I'm making sure to leave a little space where I'm going to line with the white again so we can avoid mixing too much black and white paint. Then I'm going to clean up the black on the other side as well. Then I'm going to use the same black body paint to fill in this brow, and I'm keeping with my natural shape, but I am making it a lot sharper. And then on this side, I'm using the white face paint to fill in the brow. Now I'm filling in the teeth, and I'm using the face paint for this part as well. Again, leaving a little space where I'm going to line with black. Now I'm going to black out my ear on this side and start filling in all the negative space with the black paint. And again, I'm using this fatter eyeshadow brush at first just to get the general shapes, and then we'll go in with the smaller brush to help define. Then I'm also going to start filling in the bones on the opposite side. And kind of like we did on the teeth, if you leave a small separation between each of the bones, it'll be easier to outline later on. So now I'm going to start outlining and defining some of the bones on this side, and I also decided to black out my other ear as well as my hairline. Then I'm just going to continue defining all of my black shapes and lines. And then with any leftover paint that I have on that brush, I'm just going to shade the portion of the shoulder blade that is behind the ribs. And I'm doing this so I have a bit more of a separation between the two, and so I don't have just a big block of black sitting right there. And now I'm starting to outline my black bones using the white body paint. I'm also outlining the teeth, giving them a small pointed shape. Then I'm adding in some highlights to the inside edges of some of the white pieces just to brighten it up a little bit as well. Continue outlining all your black bones with the white body paint, and then outline the white teeth using the black body paint. And then you can clean up your center line either using your black or white body paint. I'm using the black on my Sigma E11. I'm then adding some lines for shading around the eye and also the cheek and jawbones. On this side, I'm using the black paint. On the other side, I'll use the white, and you can do some more realistic shading if you want to, but I wanted to keep this very solid and blocked out. Then I decided I wanted to add some shading on the white shoulder blade using just a tiny bit of black eyeshadow. Again, this is to create some separation between the front and the back. Then I'm just redefining those black lines. And then we're done with the skeleton. I decided to add a bright pop of color to the lips using Jeffree Star's Anna Nicole, which is a very, very bright orangey red shade, and I'm just applying that all over the lips. And here is the final look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one and learned a little something. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you want to share any recreations or your costumes with me this year, I would love to see them. Please tag me on Instagram or Twitter. Links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.